This week on Steel Horse Thunder. Physically, it's one of the most painful things a person can go through. In an instant, a person can have their life turned upside down, and their physical appearance changed forever. The treatment is unlike anything else. Long, grueling, and patients experience a level of pain they've never felt before. Nothing can prepare burn victims for what's ahead. But this week on Steel Horse Thunder, we take a long look at what the motorcycle community is doing to help them.
Steel Horse is brought to you by Leidendorf Law, with over 60 years experience in motorcycle and automotive injury cases.
Our friends like to see us out in the community. Our colleagues like to see us change unfair laws that limit the rights of injured Hoosiers. Our clients like to see us hard at work fighting for their fair compensation. And insurance companies hate to see us in a courtroom. At Leidendorf Law, we have over 100 years of combined legal experience, and insurance companies know this. We handle all types of injury claims. Leidendorf Law isn't your typical law firm. We are like family to our clients. Why? Because we are family.
When it's time to ride, we'll keep your mind where it matters most, on the open road. We get it. Ryder Insurance is the only insurance company specifically created for the motorcycle and ATV communities. No one but riders. Our specialized staff is here for you with great coverage options, discounts to help you save, and 24/7 claims reporting if something happens along the way. And with roadside assistance included on all of our policies, we've got your back wherever the road leads. We get it. No worries, just riding.
Darcy Miller was at home one day, going through the normal routine that she has done many times before, when her life would change forever. Can you explain a little bit about the surgeries that they've had to do?
The surgery that they've had to do was my initial accident. They've had to go in and take the bad skin off, where the burns were. They've had to put cadaver skin on. They've had to use a wound vac, which is there in place to help the tissue form more, so they can go in and do donor sites, which they've taken from my legs. So they take the cadaver skin off, they take the wound vac off, they'll put the donor sites on, which the donor sites will, as it being my skin, will adhere, which is what all this is now. With my neck surgeries, because of range and motion, I am able to move my arms more, but it's a complete pull in the middle of my chest, and from the scar tissue from my neck down, I've got quite a bit of restriction with being able to move my head fully and to turn my neck completely from left to right. So they're going to go in and they're going to take all the scar tissue out. They're going to take the skin off. They're going to place Integra on top of it, and then they're going to put another wound vac on. I'll have that on for about 3 weeks, and then I'll go back in for another donor surgery, which they'll either take the skin from my calves, my butt, or my back this time.
Darcy was trying to light a fire with the kids nearby her when the fumes of a fluid ignited back into Darcy. She inhaled the fumes and the flames and was severely burned outside and inside her body while her kids looked on in horror. To go through what you've gone through, but on top of that, you're mom.
Yeah.
You're still mom, and your kids still need mommy.
The hardest part for me was when the accident happened. My kids were there, so they saw everything. I have an 11-year-old and I have a 2-year-old. My 2-year-old seeing it was very scary for her. My 11-year-old seeing it and being completely coherent and knowing what's going on, that was even harder on her. But both my kids were troopers. They pulled through very well. I've had a lot of support with family and helping take care of them while I was trying to recover in the hospital. And just like now they know, my youngest, she knows with therapy, mommy's got to go to the doctor. And she knows that she knows I have to have surgery time again, and so mommy's going to be down for a little while. We take it easy. She knows that I've got boo-boos, so she wants to kiss them, or she wants to help put my lotion on still. And I try to include her. And when I came home, I had some sleeves and stuff that I had to wear, and she we made some for her. So she could wear the gloves and she could wear the sleeves like mommy, and so we work with it.
Della Wright was a burn victim along with her kids many years ago, and after going through an unspeakable tragedy, she was determined to come up with something to help other burn victims.
In 1991, I was in a house fire with my 3 children, 2 of whom I lost to smoke inhalation, ages 2 and 4. My daughter and I were both burned about 50% second and third degree. It was slightly different than other parents because I also was burned. So I was able to relate in that effect. But I wasn't able to be with my child for several weeks because I was in the hospital and I had to have skin grafts and such. But once I got to her, watching her, I gotta be honest, she was my inspiration. My daughter was on a ventilator for 2 months. And during that time, once she was awake and aware, my sisters would bring music in and she would dance in the bed, and I would just see her spirit still coming out. And it's hard because you watch them struggle. After she got off the ventilator, within a month she had to have a tracheostomy, which she has to this day, and she just turned 30. But she's just done amazing. They told us she wouldn't have children, and she's got 3 beautiful, beautiful children. And but it's a struggle. Because you, as a parent, you want your child to feel good. You don't want them to be hurting. And I watched her struggle, to breathe and to walk again. And then she broke her leg and she had to learn to walk all over again, while she was in rehab. And it's tough, and you see her going back to school and she's got this mask on her face and full garments on. And I was blessed in the fact that her school allowed me to come in and tell the kids what to expect. And she didn't have, at least in grade school, she didn't have those bullies, giving her a hard time. And after her being in the hospital and rehab for 8 months and myself spending several weeks in the burn hospital, I couldn't find a lot of help. And after I got out and started recuperating and got my daughter home, I started thinking, somebody needs to do something for these people. And therefore the idea was born, and we had our first camp within the year of founding the organization, and we had 10 children the first year, and we've been going strong ever since.
What Della came up with was the Braveheart Burn Camp, a summer camp dedicated to kids who have suffered from burns. Here, these kids can be themselves and have the same summer camp experience that other kids have. And this camp has a spokesperson well known to the Indianapolis Colts fans. So is this a typical day out here?
Pretty much. We do a lot of fun stuff, activities, stuff like that.
That is no doubt. I have had a blast since we've been out here, and it seems like everybody's having a good time. How long have you been coming out here?
15, 14 years. I've been going since I was 7.
Okay, so you've been out here a long time.
Yeah, it's been a blast. I basically want to be a firefighter when I grew up. There's been a lot of people inspiring me.
Yeah, and I noticed a lot of the counselors and stuff are firefighters out here. So you're wanting to be a firefighter when you get older?
Yeah. 19.
Almost 19. You want to be a firefighter?
I work at Huntington Wendy's.
Hey, you got to start somewhere, brother. You got to start somewhere. Ashley, we had the pleasure of meeting down at the zip line. That was a lot of fun. And I've talked to several other counselors around here and everything, and they all told me we needed to talk with you. And would you like to share some of your story with us?
I've been coming to this camp, Bravehearts, since I was 8 years old. I was in a house fire, and then that following summer, we heard about it. And ever since then, I've been a part of it. They're like family to me, not like they are family. Besides camp, they're there for us, just all of us. I don't know what else to say besides that. We're just one big happy family. Anytime someone needs help, anytime there's, a celebration going on, the counselors don't hesitate to attend the events. We're very close, and so coming to camp, everyone gets very excited because we get to see each other, and it's the one week where we get to spend time together and just enjoy it and have fun.
We had the pleasure of meeting up there on the zip line. Now we're down at the pool. What does this camp mean to you?
Well, this camp is, I've been going here for 4 years now. This is the fifth one, I believe, right now. And we've been changing locations. Like, we've been to 3 other camps besides this one. And even though we've been changing places, the people don't change. It's a place where we can all just come for a week and be a kid and have fun in the camps, do regular camp games. Because out there in the real world, there's mostly like some bad stuff that most of us have to deal with. And here, there's no discrimination or ridicule or name calling. It's everyone understands one another. Like, we've all been inflicted with burns, so we can like relate to one another easier. And this is just a safe haven where all of us can just like learn from one another's experiences and teach us something, and like just find a solid rock that we all need sometimes in our life, that in case we didn't have it back when we were at home.
I believe when we go through something, it qualifies us to get somebody else through it.
Changes us.
I always talk about being qualified and being qualified.
Absolutely.
You can be qualified, but once you're qualified, once you've gone through it yourself, it makes you a great leader to help bring somebody else through there. How does that feel inside of you? I mean, as you're helping other people to get through this.
People all the time tell me how strong I am, and I've never really felt that way. All I wanted to do was to make other people not feel that sense of hopelessness and loss and being stranded and nowhere to turn that I felt. And then I never really thought, before the fire, I never thought about such things. But afterwards, I started thinking about these kids and what they go through, and I watched my daughter struggle with the same things I was struggling with, and I just wanted to help. And it's been amazing, because some of the kids who came to our first camp are now married and have children of their own, including my daughter, who has 3 beautiful children.
A lot of groups putting this thing together for you. How did you get involved with the burn camp?
My youngest son actually got his hands burned, and he touched a hot fireplace. And before that, Cindy Allison, who helps run the People's Burn Foundation, her son was in a severe burn, like over a large area of his body. So we were already familiar with it. And when my son got burned, we got involved. And you just realize, how difficult it is to come through these things, and how difficult it is not only for the burn victim, but for the family. Because wherever you live, you got to come in. It's a significant amount of time in the hospital and recovery. Financially, it's difficult. So we're really happy to help and excited about the camp coming up here in a week or so.
So you got a lot of people here, a lot of friends and stuff that you get to see every year when you come out, right?
Oh yeah, all the time. Since I was here when I was 11, a lot of kids that I met back in the first day I was here are still here. However, some of the older kids are gone now, and luckily enough, like a few of the older kids, like Cedric and Victor, were here with me when I was still young and like around 13 to 12. Yeah. And right now they're junior counselors, so they can still come even though they're campers, and they can still have fun. But they're just more of a leadership role, but they can still enjoy camp.
Cool. All right, man. Well, thanks for taking time out to talk to us. I'll let you go back to having some fun.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You think you see yourself out here as a counselor?
I'm actually a junior counselor this year. I've been taking a lot of responsibilities. They've been having me do stuff, be energetic with the kids, and being outgoing.
Cool. So do you have to learn how to do all the stuff, like the zip lining, the archery, all the stuff that goes on?
They take us through training, and basically they just tell everybody this is the rules, this is how it's done. So, I had meetings with the counselors, and that's basically it. You got to be responsible, trustworthy.
So would it be safe to say then this camp has helped mold your life and change your life?
Yes, it has.
Anything in particular that stands out? I mean that's a lot of time. You've been here a lot of years, man. Is there any particular memory that stands out?
Meeting the people that have been here since I was 7 years old, it just touches me really. Yeah. They've actually inspired me. I went up with a buddy named Derek Neller. I went to a fire department, and I was like, I want to be a firefighter. And we talked and showed me some trucks and stuff. It was pretty decent. It's pretty nice.
Cool. Well, dude, I'll tell you what, man, it's been a pleasure meeting you, a pleasure meeting everybody out here, and I hope one day I see you in a firefighter's uniform.
Cool. Thank you.
So now, what is your future in your plans? Now you have graduated college now. What'd you major in, and what are your plans?
I majored in psychology. I have a bachelor's in psychology from Marian University. I am taking a year off, taking the GRE, and then I'm going for my master's or PhD in either school psychology or mental health. But either way, I'm going to stay in the city. I'm trying to stay in the city. If I go for school psychology, I'll go to Ball State. If not, I'll go to UND for mental health, or that's the plan.
So one of these days we're going to meet up with you, whether it's here or somewhere else, and we're going to actually call you doctor, aren't we?
Yes. I'm looking forward to that day here in a couple years. Maybe one day I can start diagnosing people.
Right on. Well, don't start with me, because boy, I tell you what, I am not going to be the easiest one for you to diagnose, that's for sure.
As a parent, it's very difficult to watch your child struggle with those kinds, because I know personally how bad it hurts.
Yeah.
You know, I can't imagine anything that's worse than a burn. And before this, I never even gave it a thought. But I've learned a lot, and as parents, I'd like to say this: know what to do in case of a fire. Have a plan for your children and for yourself. Teach the children that are old enough how to get out. Have a plan for children that are too young to get themselves out. Sleep with your doors closed at night. Check your smoke detectors. And you know, those are the things you can do so that you never have to deal with being a parent of a burned child.
Bad things happen to good people. That's the difficult part of our job. Our firm works with great people during very tough times. Because of that, your compensation is our first priority. No one can prepare for the aftermath of an accident, but the insurance company is prepared to give you the bare minimum. That's why you need legal guidance, to give you a voice and get you the money you deserve. Leidendorf Law, your Indiana injury lawyers. Like family, because we are.
Hey, we got a brand new sponsor on board with Steel Horse Thunder. You've heard of Renegade Classics? Well, we now have one here in Indianapolis. I'm here with Vince, the owner of the shop. Vince, what can people find here when they come in?
Well, we want to try to fill all your biker needs at outlet prices. We've got t-shirts, leathers, 26 different kinds of jackets and vests for men's and women's. We have a very large ladies section we're very proud of, plus our bargain t-shirts, Dickie Works shirts, rain gear, accessories for your motorcycle, hopefully everything you need.
Right on. And what do we have to, I know you got some more stuff coming in. You guys are just opening up, so.
I do.
What else you got coming in?
We hope to have a very large selection of karaoke gear here for you to pick up and not have to wait and order. I want everything to be on demand, you know, no waiting. We've got a large selection of boots, and that's still growing. Our helmet section, I'm pretty proud of, but we have more vendors coming in on that too, so.
Hey, they got everything you need here. They have ample motorcycle parking, and they have a seamstress on board to do all your custom embroidery or whatever else you need for your leather. Vince, where can we find you?
We're at 9546 Allisonville Road on the southwest corner of 96 and Allisonville, right next to Kip's Pub.
Tell them Steel Horse sent you.
So Karen, you're retired now, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And so you're coming out to do the governor's ride?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I love your bike. It is so cool. Tell me about your bike, because I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. I mean, it's got eyelashes.
I know, and when I saw it, I think I found it on Craigslist last year, and it's like, man, that could be $1 million and I'm going to buy it, you know what I mean? And the guy I got it from is the one responsible for the paint job or the design of it. I had to repaint the tank though, because she was into Chunky Monkey, and so there's like a monkey on the tank and Chunky Monkey on the side, so I had to have that all repainted. And then had to have that replaced because it said Chunky Monkey. But over this winter, I'm going to do some more things to it, kind of make it my own, break up the pink a little bit, because it is kind of an overload.
No, it's not an overload.
I think what drew it to me is now what's kind of repelling me a little bit, so I just want to kind of break it up. Like I'm going to change the collar to dark charcoal, you know, kind of break up that pink. And then I'm going to have a 3D skull on the front, on the fairing.
That's going to be cool.
That's going to be awesome. Yeah. That'll make it mine for sure.
So
and
how
she's
long?
going to have a mohawk.
Cool. Every bike needs a mohawk. So how long have you had this bike?
Just since last July. It's my 4th bike. I've been riding a little over 10 years. So, put my first one down, broke my arm, got right back on the next season.
That's good, because a lot of people wouldn't get back on after that, so it's good that you did.
Want to keep me down. I spent 31 years in the military. I'm stubborn.
Yes, and you should be.
Some people say true beauty comes from within. At Crambo's, we think beauty can be inside and out. Along with the best paint and body work in the state, Crambo's also offers all Harley motorcycle service work, from tune-ups to rebuilds, so make sure your bike looks as good as it runs and bring it on in to the only shop that treats your bike as good as we treat our own. Crambo's. We'll get you noticed.
Motorcycle riders want the freedom of the open road with the wind in their face. Unfortunately, other motorists often do not give motorcycles the proper attention that the law requires. When an accident occurs, call Leidendorf Law for a free consultation. Our team of lawyers is ready to aggressively pursue your case and fight for your rights in and out of a courtroom. We'll help you on the road to recovery so that soon you can return to the open road. Leidendorf Law, like family, because we are.
Along with the Braveheart Camp, there is another camp in Indiana to help burn victims, the Hoosier Burn Camp. And as always, the motorcycle community is there to help.
Hey, we're getting ready to set up here for the Hoosier Burn Camp ride. It's early, a little damp, but we know the skies are going to clear up and everything's going to go good. Randy, can you tell me a little bit about the Hoosier Burn Camp?
I can. The Hoosier Burn Camp originated in 1998. It's a 501c3 organization, totally funded off of donations. It is for young adolescent burn survivors between the ages of 8 and 18. And so 100% no cost to the families, and the camp runs solely off of donations. So we're out today to try to help them out a little bit the best we can.
And so it's been going on since '98. Have you been involved with it most of this time?
I have been involved this is my 12th year of being involved with the camp. And we have donated through the motorcycle ride each year a total of about $70,000 to the camp.
I've always said it, there's no bigger heart than that of the motorcyclist.
That is true. You know, they kind of seem rough and tough at times, but when they come out, they open their hearts and they open their wallets for the kids.
You know, and the rough and tough part comes in handy too, because I know if I ever got in any trouble, I have a lot of people that got my back.
They got my back, absolutely. Well, we knew the rain was coming this morning, and we had a little band to move through. It's quit now, and hopefully it'll clear up here and the bikers will start coming in, and we'll get this show on the road.
Now, the camp itself, now that actually takes place, what, in May?
It does. It takes place, I believe it's the third week of May. It's at Camp Tecumseh, which is up north, close around Dayton, Indiana. And the camp has already happened for this year. However, they do also have activities year-round that they involve the kids in. They take them to Colts games, hockey games, whitewater rafting, all sorts of events. They keep them busy year-round. So we, there again, we just help fund for the kids. It takes about $1,000 to put one child through the camp, and so we try to raise our goal is to try to raise at least $10,000 per ride, and that way we're funding 10 kids.
The Hoosier Burn Camp is available to anyone ages 8 to 18 who have experienced a burn injury. There are many activities for the campers, and through the generosity of donations, campers can attend the Hoosier Burn Camp at no cost. Over the past 2 years, there have been 13 rides, and the motorcycle community has raised over $67,000.
No, it's a great thing, because I do know with this job, I've been around some of the burn camps now, and to see the kids that have gone through such a devastating, blow to, took such a blow in life, and they get to a place where every one of them will tell you, well, when I'm here, I'm normal.
That is true. Unfortunately, in our society, there's a lot of ridiculing that goes on. But when they get to the camp and they get around other kids that have went through the exact same thing, they open up, they relax, they can be themselves and just enjoy a week of summer camp with counselors, have a lot of fun, and they form a really, really tight bond. In fact, a lot of the kids have even went on further to become doctors, nurses, and work in burn units. So it's amazing how they form a bond, and obviously they relate to each other.
And that's how you know it's working, because we have noticed, we've been able to meet several that they were going to camp when they were little, and then they got older, and now they're counselors at camp. They're volunteers at camp, and that's when you know you're really touching somebody's life, when they get involved after they grow up or get too old to be there as a camper. that they still want to come back as a volunteer or as a counselor. Pat, what makes a person, you were the first one out here on the motorcycle, there was still a little mist in the air, it's been raining all morning, roads are wet. What makes you decide, hey, what the heck, I'm going to get out on the bike and do this anyway?
Well, it's the cause for one thing. It's the burn camp is it's important to us, but you got to really twist most of these guys' arms to get us out on our bikes anyway. It's going to be a good day. These kids, it costs $1,000 a week for these kids, and the parents don't pay for it. So we get these bikes out, and bikers got the biggest hearts in the world, and that's why we're out here.
And I like that, because even though there's a lot of threat of rain now, obviously it's supposed to clear up, but you gotta show up in the morning, and it's a little bit of rain. So I was happy to see there's already quite a few bikes coming out here. So do you recruit people to come out and do this ride?
I do. I go out to some of the bike nights. We've got flyers. I came to a couple of your bike nights. It's all over social media and just word of mouth every time I stop, and I carry the flyers with me. So if I see a guy on a bike, he gets one.
And what makes this burn camp so dear and near to you?
Well, I've been an EMT and a firefighter. Been an EMT since 1989. And I started doing this ride, and I got a chance to go to the camp itself. And these kids are wonderful. Everybody knows somebody with a burn scar. And it's hard for us to not stare at that. Well, these kids go through that all the time. But when they go to this camp, they're the normal kids. And it's phenomenal, the stuff they get to do there. It's just amazing. I'd ride this route in the snow if it meant getting a kid to go to camp.
Just another great example of the heart of the bikers. We've had thunderstorms, rain, mist, wind, and yet look how many bikers came out for this ride.
This is part one of the burn camp episodes, and we'd like to thank everyone who participated.
Very special thanks out to Darcy, to Della, Jeff and Karen Saturday, and everybody else out at the Braveheart camp, and also Randy and your crew out there at the Hoosier Burn Camp.
And especially to the motorcyclists who continue to give.
Next week, we're going to look more into Darcy Miller's story. You're going to hear a little bit of my own personal story of when I was burnt, and also we're going to get to see some of the Indianapolis Colts family that come out to help support this whole thing. So I hope you enjoyed the show. We'll see you next week. And remember, it's not what you ride.
It's that you ride.
Still Horse is brought to you by Leidendorf Law, with over 60 years experience in motorcycle and automotive injury cases.
Cindy ruined the show. Way to go. Quit farting while I'm doing voiceover.
Oh, it's called,
Yeah. I don't. What is it called?
I really don't. I have no idea what it's called, but
it's called making himself short.
It's called being considerate.
This is episode part one. Who continue to give.
Oh, next week.
What?
So we're starting from the top.
Oh.
Yeah, once I screw up, we start over again.
Go over.